Welcome to The Land, your bet sports betting podcast. Josh Lander coming to you here with NBA Friday action after Thanksgiving. Happy Turkey Day to everybody. We did not have a great Wednesday night. 3-5, only lost 1.85 units. First losing night in a long time for us on the Coast to Coast podcast. So we'll take it as we move along here in the NBA. Going to run through these picks with you here that I've got 3 best bets for you on this Friday slate with 10 games to choose from. Also going to show you the record of how we're doing this season, still up quite a bit. So hopefully you're following along over on that NBA Coast to Coast podcast with Nate Weitzer and myself as well on the lines.com YouTube page. Let's run right into it, y'all. So kicking it off with how we did. Not great, like I said. Didn't get the Boston under, which hit at the very end in garbage time with that in-season tournament stuff. Dame Lillard went over. Should have just stuck with him on that one, because if you look all the way at the bottom there, we did not get Malik Beasley correct. That was just trying to get cute and shouldn't have gone that way either. Got a same-game parlay that missed by 2 Brandon Ingram points. The Suns and Booker did complete their same-game parlay for us to get us over into positive units there. That was very helpful, but still, Santi Aldama almost fouled out, complete foul trouble, couldn't do anything in that game with Memphis. Vooch went over at the very end to get 30.5 PRA and hook us completely. Pascal got over, and like we said, no Malik Beasley bet there for us. But on the season, still looking really good. 105 and 85 total on that Coast to Coast podcast, where I'm bringing you those picks, 8 picks each day with Nate, 4 from me, 4 from him. And then I'm bringing you these early picks when we do have the Coast to Coast podcast. But today we don't have it at all. So I'm going to go ahead and give you all these picks here. Talk to Nate a little bit about these as well. So hopefully you like the stuff that he and I are bringing you here. Getting right into the first best bet, which should say best bet number 1. That is Paolo Banchero, the Magic, to cover against this Boston Celtics team. The disrespect, man, with this Magic team is crazy. To give them 5.5 points at home, they cover as home dogs like nobody else. Last year, third best. Well, like 2 other teams anyway. Last year, third best record against the spread as home dogs. And this season, 3-1 against the spread as a home dog, 5-1 total against the spread and straight up when they play at home. And they've been an incredible home team this season and last year. Right now, they're in the midst of a 5-game win streak. Just beat the defending champs, as you probably saw with those Denver Nuggets on Wednesday night. Really nice victory at home as they're on this little homestand now. Most of the games that they've won so far on this 5-game win streak were on the road, and they're even better at home. Third best defensive rating at home on the season versus 21st on the road. They buttoned it up a little bit on the road in these last 3 wins that they had, but they were playing Chicago twice. They also faced the Raptors in there. So not great offensive teams coming into their building, 2 of the worst, to be honest, right now. And that's a big part of why that defensive rating is so good at home anyway. But also, like I said, limited Denver pretty well, 119 points for a really good team, and still were able to score 124 on them because their offensive rating has jumped up to third best over this 5-game win streak as well at home specifically. So they're just a much better team at home, as we know. They did win 3 of 4 versus the C's last season as well. And that was one game that they lost at home. The only game that they lost was at home. First game of the season, lost by 6 and still covered in that one. And I think this is another great opportunity for them to cover exactly the same amount here and keep this game within 5 points at the very least, if not win it, to be honest. We've got no Drew Holiday in there. That'll be helpful for the point guards there, like Cole Anthony and Anthony Black for the Magic in this one. I think there's just a lot of opportunity for Paolo and the boys to be able to handle this team, not handle them, but keep up with them, and probably be close to and winning at points in this game as we move through it. So I'm going to take one of my favorite at home against the spread covers here for the Magic over the Boston Celtics in this one, and stick around in this game for the second best bet to talk about Derek White going under 5.5 assists. And I love D White, and I hate fading him, but I got to do it in this one, in a situation that's like, this is a little bit high because Drew Holiday is out, like I said. And so we're getting a little bit of value with the overinflation of an assist line for Derek White. That's just too much based on the fact that the other point guard for this team in terms of Drew Holiday, who's been a bit more of the off guard, to be honest, but has not been, he's not in. So like you think there's more assists for Derek White, but in reality, there aren't even that many more assists to go around. Boston is not a team that scores off of assisting very much at all. They have the 5th lowest percentage of their field goals that are made off of an assist. Most of it is one-on-one ball for this team because they have so many amazing one-on-one players, as we know. The assist percentage for point guards on this team just has been low as well. Fifth lowest assist percentage for point guards of any team in the league right now. And the Derek White for this line, under in 10 of 12 for a reason this year. Like he's not getting this number. Drew Holiday's played in all those games, I'll be honest. So there's the possibility that impacts him a little bit. But I looked at what the impact of not having Marcus Smart on the floor was last year, because that would be the closest comparison, right? Is who was the other point guard that was on the team last year in terms of Marcus Smart? What did Derek White do when Marcus Smart was not on the floor? Pretty comparable to what is probably going to happen here with Drew Holiday not on the floor, right? So with Marcus Smart last year, 21 games that Derek White played for the Celtics without Marcus Smart in the lineup, and in those his assists jump a little bit from 3.5 a game to 5.1. Still gets you under the 6 assists here, obviously. 13 of the 21 that he played without Smart, he went under the 6 assists. So it's still a pretty, comparable situation, I would say, that we can go ahead and use to project that this is still a pretty good line to take an under for Derek White, where Orlando limits point guards. They let them score a bit here and there, more so than they do down low, where the trees live, like Paolo and Goga Batadze and the rest. But then when Carter Jr., when he's in, even Franz as a really tall shooting guard / small forward, really solid defense down low, not as much on the perimeter, but they still limit assists, because once you do get past their guards, if you do, you're still not really going to have an easy time getting to the rim and scoring or finishing. Or even passing. Obviously, they've got so many long arms, and like I said, the trees down low for this Orlando team should be able to handle guards if they even do get into the lane for them. So we're going under 5.5 for D White there. We're going to close it out with a familiar bet for those of you who have been following along now for a while, which, by the way, thank you to all the new followers. Finally had a nearly 2,000 views on the last video. Plus, we got the subscriber count way up. So I'm really grateful for all y'all that are coming in and jumping on board with me here as we continue to talk hoop. That's the quick aside. This is the Oscar Thompson bet that I was stalling to talk about because it didn't hit last time, and in wildly frustrating fashion, it didn't hit, as he had to get 20.5. We needed 21 PRA for him last time. He had 19 rather at the half, and finished with 19 or 20 rather, just one under. Either way, it was like one of the just nastiest. He didn't play at all, and it was just one of the nastiest beats that we received this season for sure. But we're going back to the well because it was a good bet then, and it's a good bet now, considering he got 20 points, rebounds, and assists in the game where he played 17 minutes recently, and has gone over in 11 of 15 total on the season. Playing the Pacers, this is just another good opportunity to take him. So briefly, I want to mention that Jalen Duren, their starting center, is in. And that actually just means more Oscar stats, to be honest. Oscar is averaging a few more points, rebounds, and assists with Jalen Duren in there. So without Jalen Duren, we're talking about around 11 rebounds and assists combined. When Jalen Duren is in there, we're talking about 10 rebounds per game plus 4 assists per game in 30 minutes for Oscar. So the center being in there is just awesome for him, because it means that Duren is boxing guys out, leaving pogo sticks here a little bit more open to be able to go get those rebounds on the offensive side, especially where he's the best offensive rebounder in the league. And then on defense as well, where he's still getting, like I said, about 6 boards per game on the defensive side. So in a game where he's playing Indiana, we've all seen Indiana play basketball recently and know that the pace that they're playing at is absurd. The amount of points that they're putting up and allowing are absurd, 140 to be exact, in the last 2 games combined on average. And so the numbers are going to be there for guys on the Pistons to get to clean up and get theirs. Indeed allows the 3rd most rebounds to small forwards, and 8.5 is fine. If you want to take over 8.5 boards, that's his core line here for Oscar. I'm fine with it. It's minus 120 with the best number I found for it. So I decided to throw the assist in there because he actually does better than the 11. Yeah, the 11 of 15 is what he does there. But in his last 10, he's gone over in 8 of them for the rebounds and assists specifically. The points, they're getting a bit high. I mean, 12.5. They're getting up there. So I didn't really want to have to mess with that. Like, we would have gotten the rebounds and assists in that last one, even when he played 17 minutes, like I said. And that was a bit of the reason that I was like, look, he gets the rebounds and the assists. He's going to be in transition a lot. The fast break points are available for anybody that plays this team. And he's one of the main dudes out in transition, as we know, the best athlete on this team, one of the fastest dudes on this team, and somebody that they look to finish on these fast breaks. So not only do they look to finish, but like there's plenty of times where he's leading it because he's getting so many defensive rebounds. And that's what I'm banking on with the assists. Like, I think he's good to get 10 boards, to be honest with you. And I feel very comfortable with him getting the 2 assists, which he's done in 11 of his 15 games this season as well, which is why he continues to hit the rebounds and assists, because he really puts himself in position to just need 2 assists to get us over the total rebounds, assists, even points, rebounds, and assists. But I left the points off in this one just because the numbers are so clearly on our side with the rebounds and assists combined. And I think this is a really great play for a team that's going to be in transition a lot against this Indiana Pacers team. So let's close things out here. Quick summary of these bets. Boston at Orlando plus 5.5. We're taking that. Derek White under 5.5 assists. There's got to be some nice sort of luck correlation there that there's 5.5 assists. The spread is 5.5, and we're taking both of those numbers for Orlando to fade Derek White under 5.5 assists and their points, as we said. And then closing it out, Ausar Thompson, man, got to go back to Pogo Sticks, our favorite Thompson twin, over 11.5 rebounds and assists in this one for Ausar, going right back to him. If he burns us again, we'll consider not coming back. But for now, I feel really good about Mr. Thompson in this one. So that is all the time I have for you guys. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. Hope everybody is fully satiated. Do check out the NFL Coast to Coast podcast if you want to check out some NFL Playa props that we have up for you. Nate and myself have 8 of them for this weekend slate. Just went 7-1 on Thanksgiving. Hopefully you saw that video as well, but continue to check those out, as well as liking and subscribing to this one. Super appreciate all you guys. Going to keep coming back to you each and every day of the season without fail, unless I tell you I can't make it for some reason, which is going to happen very rarely. So continue to follow along, y'all. And until I see you next, happy